Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Happy Valentine's Day. As always, in this half hour, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, the adventure racing team is coming to Namibia. Adventure racing is the ultimate race of human endurance. Teams of 4 athletes race around 500 kilometers in length through a unique journey, including mountain biking, trail running, and kayaking. The race is set to kick off in Walvis Bay on the 22nd of May 2024. Precious Ngitwanapo contributed this video.
Because in adventure racing, for those of you who don't know, but it is kayaking, and that's probably the most difficult part, is to find water in Namibia. So we need kayaking, trekking, we call it trekking, which is another word for hiking or trail running, and then also mountain biking, which you all know about. So yeah, sit back, let me go through it, and as we go along, can you hear me there at the back? So before I show you the promotion video, how it works with our events, and you can see the brochure in front of you, we'll get there, about the World Series. We are actually 15 plus of these events around the world. So in fact, we are in competition with each other. You can imagine I'm trying to sell Namibia, and another guy is trying to sell Alaska and New Zealand and Europe. So what we do is we go to the country and we recce, we scout the area, and then we make a filming production. And this production is what we WhatsApp and social media, YouTube, we share around the world this clip to give them an idea of what they can expect from the event.
The Managing Director of Erongo Marine Enterprises, Dr. Martha Uwamati, has been suspended. The suspension is precautionary so the investigation can proceed unhindered. In the interest of fairness of the process underway, it would be inappropriate to share anything further at this stage, said PR consultant Francois van der Merwe in a statement released by Erongo Marine moments ago. Now, Erongo Marine Enterprises is part of the Oceania Group, one of the largest fishing companies in Africa with dual listing on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange and the Namibian Stock Exchange, and is the biggest employer in the Namibian horse mackerel industry. The company operates through joint ventures with key empowerment partners in Namibia and is a shareholder of 3 quota holding companies, of which all are Namibian registered entities. This include Archeneb Fishing and Development Company, Erongo Seafoods, and Serosic Fishing. Moving on to our next story, police spokesperson and Deputy Commissioner Kauna Shikwambi has confirmed that the international police organization Interpol is on a frantic manhunt for fugitive Nico Hiendepi Rebebe, who stole millions from Bank Windhoek last month. The Namibian police, which has been searching for Rebebe for over a month, still does not have any leads that could lead to the fugitive's apprehension. It is rumored that Rebebe fled to Angola. There are no leads yet, Shikwambi confirmed. Absolutely not that all wanted suspects are circulated locally and internationally. Internationally through Interpol, if detected where he is and such member state has an extradition agreement with Namibia, then necessary arrangements can be done accordingly. Rebebe, who was employed at Bank Windhoek's Opuwo branch as an administrative clerk, allegedly attempted to steal $200 million Namibian on the 13th of January, which he deposited into several bank accounts. Rebebe himself is said to have taken $500,000 Namibian in cash before fleeing. 8 people have since been arrested after their bank accounts were used by Rebebe to transfer over $2 million Namibian of the stolen money. The 8 people, of which 2 people were arrested in Opuwo, while the 6 others were arrested in Rundu, were promised jobs and were instructed to open bank accounts. After his employees opened their accounts, Rebepe allegedly confiscated their bank cards. 2 weeks ago, Namibian Sun reported on how Rundu community activist Franz Muyo has called upon the state to release the people arrested after money was transferred into their bank accounts. Muyo regards the suspects as victims who were used by Rebepe, hence they should be removed from custody. Moving on to our story of the day, Cabinet gets to business. We get into this after the break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
After a minute of silence in honor of Namibia's recently departed President, Dr. Hakainde Geingob, newly sworn-in President Nangolo Mbumba opened the first decision-making meeting of Cabinet at State House this morning. President Mbumba told his Cabinet ministers, "It is also a difficult time for you as Cabinet members and the entire nation, but we must be strong and forge ahead without faltering. That is what our President, Dr. Geingob, would have wanted us to do." Listen more to these opening remarks here.
Revolutionary leader whose footprints will remain indelible in the annals of our country's history. As members of Cabinet, let us pick up where he has left and take our country forward. This is a difficult and sad time for the widow and children, and our thoughts are with them. It is also a difficult time for you, for us as Cabinet members, and the entire Namibian nation. But we must be strong and forge ahead without faltering. That is what our President, Dr. Geingob, would have wanted us to do. This year is the year of elections, the year of expectations, in which the citizens of the Namibian House will elect the next leadership to lead the nation for the next 5 years. As we navigate through the challenges of this year, our citizens have higher and clearer expectations from us, of us. We have to implement government plans and programs to deliver quality public services to our people. As we commence with the work of Cabinet, we should be mindful that the people of Namibia have entrusted us with a mandate to grow the economy, to improve their livelihoods, and enhance inclusive prosperity for all our citizens in the Namibian House, irrespective of their ethnic origin, race, or gender. I encourage all Namibians to hold hands and move together in the same directions towards national unity, peace, and stability, which are the prerequisite for meaningful socio-economic development. Over the past few years, our country has faced unprecedented challenges, such as the COVID-19 pandemic and devastating droughts, which negatively affected the growth of our economy, thereby constraining our national budget. However, I must also indicate that our collective efforts as a nation during the past years aimed at achieving economic growth, at achieving economic recovery, inclusive growth, and shared prosperity under the Harambee Plan 1 and 2 have borne desirable results.
Point of correction, the first decision-making meeting of Cabinet happened at State House yesterday morning, and that video was courtesy of Augeto Greg. Moving on, we'll take a look at our community story after the break. Swakopmund Municipality officially opened on Jamba Street in Mondesa, Swakopmund today. This comes after the street became notorious for constant accidents and road hazards. The mayor of Swakopmund, Dina Ngamubs, and Swakopmund CEO Alpheus Benjamin elaborate on the purpose of this development. Precious Ngitwanapo contributed this video.
This occasion marks the transformation of a once gravel road into a modern interlocked street, symbolizing progress and prosperity for the residents of Swakopmund. Our ultimate goal is to promote general welfare in a cost-effective manner with the limited resources that we have available. The entire Swakopmund community is our top focus. We can all pursue our goals and realize our full potential in an environment where we respect and honor one another. I commend the council along with its management team and administration for a job well done, involving the contractor and our members of the community. Please applaud yourself by putting your hands together.
A few years ago, I think 3 years, 2 years, every Sunday morning, I'll receive a clip from the mayor then, before our current mayor. There was an accident in Onjamba Street. A child died. Somebody died. And that was because there was no control over this road. People were driving as they want.
According to Economic News, the repo rate remains unchanged. We expand on this on the other side of the break.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Getting into our economic news, Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gavagab says the Namibian dollar will have to remain fixed to the South African rand for the moment, as the benefits far outweigh the cost. Gavagab made the remarks following the announcement of the repo rate, which the central bank kept unchanged at 7.75%. Ohane Tlacher has more.
As far as your question is concerned, when do we dig it? We get this question every time. And every time we confirm with a small open economy and the benefits outweigh the cost. It's like a marriage. I said to the colleagues, we need to realize that the monetary policy is but one element in the entire economic management of the country. So you can't just try and get monetary policy to do things that monetary policy is not able to do. So currently, we've got a lot of volatility, as you say, about what's happening in South Africa. But despite all those, the exercise and simulation we've done telling us we are better off currently.
Let's take a look with what's happening with the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.88, against the euro at 20.40, against the US dollar at 19.05. $2.66 gets you one Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, copper, platinum, and Brent crude oil went up while gold went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.64%, going for $83 and 31 cents per barrel. After the break, we'll take a look at our international news.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kahan.
Sy sê wie hy is aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en is
but just enough next.
Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
A new round of Palestinian-Israeli negotiations began on Tuesday in Egypt's capital, Cairo, with the talks to last for 3 days, reported Egyptian media. The media quoted a senior Egyptian official saying that talks held by officials from Egypt, the United States, Qatar, and Israel went on in a positive atmosphere. However, no further details have been disclosed yet. The Hamas delegation was not mentioned in media reports. Meanwhile, the Israeli Prime Minister's office issued a statement earlier on Tuesday saying the country will send a delegation to Cairo on the day to discuss the release of detained Israeli personnel with the relevant parties. A Hamas member told CNN that if there is progress after the 4-way talks, Hamas may send a delegation to Egypt led by senior Hamas member Khalil al-Hayya. The new round of talks comes as Israel launched continuous large-scale airstrikes on Rafah city and surrounding areas in recent days. Hamas stated on Sunday that if Israel launches any form of ground attacks on Rafah, Hamas will completely stop any negotiations on the exchange of detained persons. Niu Jinshun, a professor with the China Arab Research Institute at Nizhny University, said that regardless of the expanding strikes on Rafah, the negotiations sends a positive signal for a ceasefire, which is essential for both sides. After the break, we get into our weather predictions.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insights to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
The capital city has gotten some showers. Let's take a look at what tomorrow brings for the capital city and the rest of the country. Partly cloudy and warm to hot in the south. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and hot to very hot. A few showers are most likely in the extreme northwest and southwest. A fresh to strong southerly wind is expected in the south. Partly cloudy and mild with a few showers in the extreme south. And the wind is going to be moderate northwesterly at first, becoming fresh to strong southerly later. The tides at Walvis Bay are as follows: a high tide at 7:19 a.m., a low tide at 1:30 p.m., a high tide at 7:44 p.m., and sunrise in Windhoek is as follows: at 6:39 a.m., the sunrise and sunset at 7:30 p.m. We'll be getting into our sports news with Ari Hogat just now.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news first. It's the Qatar Open being played, WTA, it's a women's thousands tournament, and the big news there is number 2 seed and number 4 seed is out in the second round. Firstly, number 2 seed, it's Coco Gauff, the 19-year-old from America. She suffered a shock defeat in the second round. She lost to Katarina Siakakova, and she lost by 6-2 and 6-4. And also it is Ons Jabeur of Tunisia, also out in the second round. She lost to Lesia Turenko. She's from the Ukraine, and the score there was 6-3 and 6-2. It was a better result for Naomi Osaka. She's unseeded, and she's a 4-time major winner, and she's through to the last 16. She beat Petra Matic, and the score there was 6-3 and 7-6, and it is Matic that is from Croatia. And continuing international sports news with soccer news, that is Champions League soccer news. Two of the favourites, it is Manchester City and Real Madrid. Both won their first leg games in the round of 16. Firstly, it was Manchester City. They played away to FC Copenhagen, and they won that game by 3-1. And it was Kevin De Bruyne that scored first in the 10th minute for Manchester City, and then Bernardo Silva in the 45th minute, just before half-time. And then in the second minute of injury time, it was in the second half Phil Foden scoring in the 92nd minute to make it a 3-1 for Manchester City in the first leg. Also good result for Real Madrid. They had a away game to RB Leipzig, and it was a 1-0 win for them, a tough game for them, but in the end it was Brahim Diaz that scored in the 48th minute for an important win for Real Madrid in the first leg in the round of 16. And to conclude today's international sports news is cricket news. South Africa currently playing against New Zealand. That's in their second test match, a 5-day test match. So that's in Hamilton in New Zealand. And South Africa doing a lot better than the first test. They actually have a 31-run lead after the first innings. It was South Africa that batted first on day one, 242. They scored all out. That was followed by New Zealand being bowled out for 211. Great performance by South African bowlers. Dane Pete, he's a spin bowler, and he took 5 wickets for 89 runs in 32.3 overs. And also Dane Patterson, he's the seam bowler, opening bowler, and he took 3 wickets for 39 runs. Earlier for South Africa, it was Ron de Swart that scored 64 runs. And then to close off, also international T20 game, West Indies that beat Australia in the third T20 game, and they beat them by 37 runs, but it's Australia that won the series by 2-1. The West Indies batting first at 220 for 6, and it was Andre Russell that scored 71 runs off just 29 deliveries. And then Australia could only reply with 183 for the loss of 5 wickets. So it's the West Indies winning the game by 37 runs, but Australia winning the 3-game series by 2-1. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
That brings us to the end of the sport news and the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneuptwo.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. From me, Glenora Shipura, wishing everybody lots and lots of love on this beautiful Valentine's Day. This has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.